Alright, today we're going to do a calibration of a digital gauge with a 760 automated calibrator. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a task. And so I'm going to go in here just so you guys can see. We go into the task menu, we hit task, and what we want to do is we want to create a new task. As you can see, I've got a few already in here, but we're going to create a new one. We're going to do a digital pressure gauge. As you can see, there's several selections in there. We're going to go ahead and select digital pressure gauge, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and name this. I've got a name in here already. I've got ADT 761. If we want to just we'll just go ahead and do that, and what it's going to do is it will go to the next one, 761-1. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter on that. Okay, and we're going to put a serial number in here, 123. Hit enter. Our location, we can put that in there. We can put some notes. This pressure type here allows us to select the pressure type. This is highlighted in blue, so it's a little hard to see on the video, but it says gauge, absolute, and differential. That's what we're going to do, is gauge pressure. We're going to do a range of 0 to 100. And then our accuracy, we're going to do 0.02%. Now you could change that to whatever you wanted if you just clicked on the accuracy button here, and then you can change it. Once again, these ones are highlighted in blue again, so they're a little hard to see, but you just enter what you have and go ahead and put it in there. Okay, so we're at 0.2% accuracy. That's the accuracy of our gauge that we're calibrating, which is right here, our digital pressure gauge. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and start now. So what we do is we've written our task. We go ahead and accept that task, and we can go back in here, and now you can see we got 760, ADT 760, ADT 761. That was the next number up that it did. So we're going to go ahead and select that. We're going to go ahead and start the task now. So that has all the information that we just put in before in there again. We go ahead and press play. Now it's going to ask us, okay, what do you want to do on this calibration? We're going to go, we can select how many set points we want. As you can see, the unit will auto range these. I got 5 in there now. There's 4, there's 3. We're going to go ahead and do a 3-point cal on this gauge. We're going to go select that. So now you can see this is the test we're actually going to run. We're going to go 0 to 50. 0, 50 to and 100, and then we're going to repeat that one time, and we're going to do a round trip, so that will give us our hysteresis. So let's go ahead and go to our next screen here. This is where we start the test. We're going to go ahead and select this button down here, which is our manual calibration. We're going to hit that, and now what you'll see here is the unit will get stable, and you see it turn green. So that means we've got to enter our first point. So we go over here to our digital gauge. Okay, what is our measurement? 0.02. So I come back here to my unit and I put that in, 0.02, and I hit enter. And now it's going to go to the next point. As you can see, it's climbing up to 50. As you see here on the display, we've got a graph, and now it's stabilizing out at 50. And we'll go ahead and put the point in at 50, 50.01. So we go here and we enter 50.01, hit enter, and it goes up to the next point. So this is pretty nice. It's all auto-generated. Everything just happens automatically. Once it gets up here to 100, we're going to take the next point. As you can see, it's going to stabilize out. So I'm going to take the point at 100, and actually at 100 here we're going to have to take 2 points because we want to record our hysteresis on the way back down. So we'll go ahead and put our 100 point in. Let's check that on the gauge here. 100.01. Put that in. 100.01. Hit enter. Okay, like I said, now we have to do this again because we're at our top point. We're going to go put in 100.01, which is still what the gauge is reading. If we go over here and look and hit enter. Okay, now it's going to go down to 50, and as you can see, it's starting to go back down to 50. One other really cool thing, we're looking at this on a graph, but if we want to see the actual data we've entered, we can go in here and we can see our data. So the unit is physically recording the data, which can be dumped later. So now if we go back to our graph, we can see our graph again. We're at 50. We're going to go ahead and put our 50 point in, 50.01. Right here, 50.01. Hit enter. And now it recorded that point. Now it's going to go down to our 0 point. And once it becomes stable, we'll go ahead and look at our gauge again. And as soon as it gets stable, it'll turn green at 0. Okay, you saw that happen. Go over here and look at our gauge again. Okay, 0.02. We're going to go ahead and enter that. 0.02. And hit enter. Okay, so now we've actually finished our cal. We can go look at the data on the graph form here and see our hysteresis that way, or we can look at the physical actual data. And so now what I want to do is I want to save this. And since this is my first cal on this, I'm going to save it as an as found. And then I just hit the check mark here. I could save it as left or both. If it passed, we're going to go ahead and save it as found. And we have done a complete calibration of that gauge. Now if we want to go see that data again or dump it down to our computer, it's just right here. There's all our data. It shows what we recorded on the gauge. Thank you for watching us calibrate a digital pressure gauge.